gospel is how you get saved and how you relate to God. And the big idea is that sin has invaded and broken peace. The Bible calls it shalom, but it's just the peacefulness of God's original creation. And so if the bad news is that sin is invaded and it's wreaked havoc with how we relate to God and then also how we relate to each other. And so we don't worship God properly, and we do violence, physical, emotional, spiritual violence to others. So sin plays out in two horrible ways. We hate God and we hate each other. And so that ends up being a lot of fractured relationship. And so the gospel heals that brokenness, and it reestablishes the peace of God's original intent with creation. And so because of Jesus and what he did on the cross and his perfect life, death, and resurrection, that's our relationship back with God. We are in good standing if we have faith in Christ with God. But what that does is it plays out in our relationships with each other. And so the forgiveness and grace we've been given is we are then motivated to extend that grace and goodness to others. And so we're no longer worshiping other gods, we're worshiping the true God, and we're no longer hating our enemy, but the gospel brings us to love our neighbor. Just like Jesus said, love God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. That thing which is impossible in our sinful condition becomes a reality in the light of the gospel.